Hello guys and welcome back, and today I thought I'd give you a base and a project tour around what I have done on the Namelesscraft server. So right now we're going to start at the spawn area, and right here we have a wall which I made recently, which takes you into my spawn area or base. So I'm still working on the design. I'm thinking about doing cyan clay, which I think looks pretty good. Instead of the stone which I had originally, so I'll be swapping that out soon to see how it looks overall and finishing it off. But right now we're coming into the farms area. This area is got some oak trees and birch trees, and around the side there it has got some small carrot, potato and wheat farms. This was actually my first house on the server, and as you can see some cactus, but this was my first house on the server which I made um, almost over a year ago. It was I think over a year ago. So that was quite a good starter house, and I obviously had some animals here. But over time it's got a bit wear and tear, and as you can see some blocks have gone. Recently I took the sheep out of here and took them over to my other base over there, um, which I was using the shear to get emeralds for my NPC villagers. So right now this base is sort of just left alone, and whatever happens happens. But some people still use the tree farms here, which is good. And up here we have a zombie spawner, which I only found a few months after making my base, but I'm not sure if it's still here. It is. Um, as you can see, it's quite near the spawn, so I wasn't sure if it's still here, but I don't really use this anymore, but zombies came through there and the spawner's down there. So I think a few people might have used it. And I've never been really down here to see what's in here, so it's quite a surprise. There's still some items here. Uh, haven't been here for a while. Obviously some armor and such. Um, so there's quite a lot of stuff here still. So I might come back and get that in the future. But right now I'm going to head up to the surface, and then we're going to go over to my main base, which I'm working on right now. On the way to my main base, I thought I would show some of the other community farms. So right here we have some potatoes and carrots, which people are free to use, and you can take some of them, some stacks or a few stacks out of the chests here if you ever join the server. If you need those, great option if you need a lot of them. So you can just come over and obviously break them and then just replant them, so other people can just come and harvest them once they've grown, and usually they grow quite quickly due to me being in the area, so it's quite handy if you need a lot of each. We also have sugarcane and wheat. Recently I've been gathering the wheat for the hay for my other base, which is quite far away, which I've been working on also, so I'll show you that in a bit. But right now we're going to head over to my other base, which is over there, so we'll be back in one moment. So right now we are coming to the entrance of my base, which you would be coming from facing spawns that way, so you come in through spawn this way. But right here I attempted to make a gateway, but I made this tower, but I don't really like it. It's too square, but I like the windows effect there. It looks very like it was something like in desert, maybe desert temple sort of feel. So I'm going to try and improve that, or maybe just take it down. But right here I am mining out the mountainside sort of here just to get a straight path, because before I had a railway, pointless, but I had a railway going to just the other side of the bridge over there, which you can see, which then you just walked up the spawn. So I thought this bridge was pretty pointless, and I might just or the railway, so I might just put down a beacon possibly, just make it speed 2, so that's a lot quicker. But I have the speed boots on, which give me 33% more speed because I won the UHC. When you win the UHC you get special armor, so I've got a full set of armor because I've won it quite a few times, so that's really good. Right here I was going to put a map. I still haven't done it. I did this about a month ago, 2 months ago maybe, even longer. Um, so people could see the whole area and sort of around spawn, but I've never got around to that. Coming around here we have my chicken farm, which I always use, and it's really useful to get food quite quickly and easily. But right here I have a chest of some eggs left, because up here I used to have a chicken farm which used to lay a lot of eggs, and people are complaining about lag sort of, and about 5 double chests of it, and I also have about 5 double chests or even more over at the other base there, which people can take. They're just in front of the house. But right here we have my horses. I've been breeding them recently to try and get a good horse, but the ones in the diamond armor I feel are the best. I like the white ones or the old black ones more than the other ones. So that's what the colour I prefer my horses to be, because I just think the white ones look very good in diamond armor and the gold ones look good in black armor or iron armor. I also use the donkeys if I'm going somewhere which I need quite a bit more space. Right here you can see my sheep farm, and some people are complaining that it's causing them lag, and right now I'm getting 60 FPS, so I might just share these up and then just kill them potentially, because um, I don't really need the wool anymore because I've got about 4 double chests, and I found out there's actually an easier way of getting emeralds, but it does take quite a bit more time, which is using paper in the librarian I think it is, so I don't really need that anymore. Here's my cow farm that I sort of use. I was starting to gather leather for certain like books and things like that to enchant, so it comes in handy, so I might as well keep that. Um, but right here we have my sort of castle project. I called it a castle at the start. I personally don't think it really looks like a castle at all. I think it's more like a big house, and as you can see from the front here, I'm still working on it. I've still got to do the roof and quite a lot of the insides and put the windows in. Um, but I think it looks like a parallel sort of big mansion house. We have a gateway into here, and then you can obviously see into the insides of the building there. But right here we are in the sort of passageway area, which is going to be an outside area, and I'm still working on the inside part here, because recently I just made it so that I didn't really think about how I was going to do it. So I was just building an outer wall, and then I started building this, but then I realised that I probably should have an inner wall for the outer wall, sort of, if you know what I mean. So there's a gap here. I'm going to do something probably with it, probably make a path and such. But right here we have the wall, which I thought looked pretty cool. On this bit of space here, which here is like the sort of main building in the middle, which inside I recently have been making my base. So let's pop down here. I made a water chute down, and then there's an enderpearl elevator. So right down here, we've just been mining it out recently, so I can build how I want to, and so I'm not limited by the space. I'm thinking it's going to be quite a big base, but not really, as you can see. I'm thinking about the nether portal in here, which connects my base. But right over here we have the chest room, which I've been working on recently. Lots of storage for all my items. Um, Right now we're at level 15, so it's quite low down, and I think I might make a sort of strip mine below possibly, but I'll see about that because it's quite near spawn, and I want to make sure that I don't disrupt any other person's paths or bases. That might be below, but I don't think there would be any, but it's been mined quite a lot around here, so I don't know how many ores there actually are to mine anymore, so I'll just have to see, but I think I'm going to put some farms over here maybe, and I'll work out the rest. I haven't really thought it through like the rest of my projects, but I'm slowly getting there to see what it's like. So right now we'll head back up to the surface and look at the other parts. Okay, we've come out of the big mansion or castle right there, and right now we're in front of the modern sort of building, which was going to be, I was going to make a modern sort of area around here, but my mind changed shortly after, since I don't really feel like I would be able to build a town or a city out of modern buildings, because I'm not really that type of builder. But I started by making this sort of building here, which I was potentially making my town hall. I had originally made it in a jungle, but I moved it here because it was so far out, and I don't know why I even made it out there. But as you can see, there's a sort of info desk here. I must have called it Packleberry. It's a bit of a weird name, but that's that. So this is the sort of town hall sort of area. It's a bit mixed around here. There's no one like type of style. As you can see, it's pretty random. But right over here, I have my mass-produced pumpkin farm, which I use to make my pumpkin pie, but I've slowly gone off the pumpkin pie. I have about a double chest worth, so I didn't really need that, so I could give that away. But I have a lot of pumpkins still here, which I don't really use anymore because I'm using the chicken now because I got a chicken farm. But this was back in the day when I didn't really have anything, and I was being creative by making pumpkin pie, which many people didn't really make. So that was useful at a time. But right over here we have the auditorium, which you could say is used for theatres or used for like people speaking out. A bit of a gap there, but I'll fix that. So right here, they would stand right here and such, and people would sit up there, and they would listen to what they had to say. And I've had quite a few good comments about this. I made this quite a while ago. I made it about a few months ago actually, and I think it looks really good right in this area. So continuing around, we have a sort of archway which leads you up to this area here. This is sort of like a center part which takes you out to the other places, which I thought looked pretty cool. I saw it on another server, I forget what the server's called, but full credit to them for giving me the idea of making the sort of oval shape here, which then leads out to these houses here, which are my own design, which I was pretty impressed with, but as you can see, the design doesn't last very long, and I would need to make some more designs to make them more unique, but I'll work on that. Here I was going to do a barn, but I never really got around to it, so I still have to work on that potentially in the future. I don't know if I want to keep this area. Um, I might tear it down and put some other different houses, keeping them with that sort of theme potentially. So we'll see what that is like. But right now we will head over to my other base, which is my sort of hay roofed base, inspired by Jamsy Boy Minecraft. So I'll see you over there. Right now I've just come through the spawn portal and I thought I'd show you the nether hub, which Mrs. Meowies has made. So it's looking really good right now. She's built the north wing, which is where most people's portals are, and over here is the south, which is still being worked on, which looks really good. Really like the floor pattern, looks really good in my opinion. So over here we have sort of an enchanting area, which people can enchant their items at. Over here is also being worked on. I'm not sure what's going to here, but looks really good. We've got some oval sort of thing up, two ovals up there, which look a bit weird, but once they're done, I'm sure they'll look good. There's a third there, so we'll see what that looks like when it's done. But over here in the north wing, my portal is over here, but as you can see, a lot of people's portals are around the outside, and somebody's been the troll and put bend instead of end. But we'll head down my tunnel and I'll see you out the other side. Okay, I've just come through the nether portal, so we're going to head outside, and as you can see here is the first house which I made, which was my storage house for making the rest of this village. So I came up with a design which was inspired by Jamsy Boy Minecraft, as I said, which I thought looked really good. So I decided to make a village pretty far out, which is 2,000 blocks, which is roughly 2,000 blocks from the spawn. So I made that, and that was one of the first houses I made. As you can see, I have some horses here, which I have just gathered over time as I am beside a plains biome, so they're easy to get and useful to keep here also if I ever need to travel from here. Right here we have a wall design which I was working on. I'm not sure if it looks that good, but I built some of it anyway, and I tried experimenting in the front here with different patterns that potentially I could use. But over here, I got a little bored one day, so I decided to make a PvP sort of area. So here's my PvP arena attempt, which I built within a few hours, which I thought was pretty impressive. But I haven't really finished it off yet. I'm not sure if I want to close it in fully or just keep it open. Here was going to be a bar, which I haven't set up yet. So I've quite a bit to do in this PvP arena also. Heading out here, we start to head down into our housing area. So I built quite a few houses around this area, which look pretty cool, and I tried to separate it using these paths and some just greenery, which I think I did pretty successfully, so I think that looks really good. And the houses are sort of the same, but as you can see there are a few that are different, like this inn here, which is for people staying, and obviously and just different designs of the houses here to make it look a bit different. Right here we have my personal iron farm, which I gathered quite a lot of iron over the last 2 days. So I'm gathering the iron for my beacons, which I have quite a lot of. I have about a stack of wither heads and about 6 beacons, since I was spent quite a lot of time at the wither skelly farm, which I gathered all this wither skelly heads from. So right round here I decided to make a sort of separate villagey cottage area. So I built a few smaller houses here, um, for like the sort of like old people's area, um, so they could live here in their own wee small houses. But up here we have a blacksmith. Still haven't put the fire in yet, so I need to do that. I haven't done quite a few of the interiors, so I need to work on them still. And here we have another sort of blacksmiths with a furnace this time, which is a bit more upgraded. Uh, so that's that. Heading out here, we head into a sort of small area, passing this house here, um, which is a bit bigger, and it also has a tower in it and a balcony, which looks. I thought I would use that as the area breaking up the two. Here we have sort of a stable area where I've got some horses, but to be honest they aren't the best ones, so I just left them here. Right down here we have a few houses. I'll come back to that building, but right down here we have a few different houses. Thought I'd make some roads because they look pretty cool, so I've done that. But heading back up here, we have this sort of building here, which takes me down to my base. So I've got another enderpearl elevator. I had this base for a while, but I didn't really use it. I was going to make it my personal base, but I never got around to it. And being this far out, I didn't really feel like being this far out from spawn and having a base, because every time I wanted something, I'd have to travel a long distance to get to it. But in my opinion, I think it looks pretty cool. But I don't know if I'll ever finish it. But anyway, I think that's the tunnel there that Dan MC1 made, which takes you the whole way to spawn, I think, and also you can go to his base and Mifa's base, going down there. So that was pretty useful, but I've never used it, unfortunately, so that's that. I've pillared up on some dirt again, because people like that idea, but right now I am looking over my village, which I'm working on, and this brings a close to today's episode on the Namelesscraft server. I hope you liked my base tour around the server, and please like the video, leave a comment what you think I should improve on or what I could change. I did forget the suggestion of lowering the FOV today, and I apologise for that, but I will try and remember for next time. But thanks for the comments, and I'm taking them into consideration, and I will think about incorporating them into my videos. This has been me, KiLlerWiLd, on the Namelesscraft server, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.